Hey guys, happy Candle Day. So I'm here with my Candle Day haul. I did end up going, of course. But yeah, so it was semi-successful, a little bit of a rant, and then my haulage. I have 17 candles, but I'm probably going to return a number of them and then exchange the most of them for when any of the new stuff comes out either on Sunday or Monday. So I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning. I really couldn't sleep. Shout out to all the people who were on my Instagram live last night. We were having a Candle Day Eve party on Instagram. It was so much fun. It's actually like really fun to do the live videos, almost more fun than like hauling the stuff because it's so much fun talking to you guys. Thank you everybody who participated in that Instagram live. It was super fun. We were on there for about 2 hours and then I was still like pretty like buzzed. Not that I was drinking or anything, but I was just buzzed from the interaction. And I didn't really like go to bed till like 11:30 and then had to wake up at 3. Got ready and then left at 4. Drove to a store that opened at 5 a.m. So I got there at 4:30. It was a mall location that has a very large, like the White Barn side is huge and the BBW side is huge. It's a very large store and they fit around like 60 people in there. And so I was like, okay, I know that store also has some fall stuff as well. I was hoping they would bring some of that stuff out and they did. So I went to that store because I knew they would fit, like, it was a large store, but they could still fit a lot of people in there. So if I got there early enough, I could go at least in the first, like, grouping of people that they let in, and that did happen. So I got there at 4:30. I was about the 20th person in line. We stood outside, like, the food court entrance. Everyone was really good about wearing masks. Everyone was distanced as well. It was a very, like, single file line going into the mall entrance, and then at 5 o'clock the security guard opened the doors to the mall and then they went in and then we lined up in the velvet like ropes outside of the actual BBW store. Like last year, because it wasn't COVID and everyone was just sort of free-for-all, everyone just like mobbed rushed that store without a line. But this time around, because it was COVID, everyone was like super orderly and like totally in conduct and just was literally a single file line like into the rope line too. And then we stood there, everyone still had masks on there too, and then they let everyone in. It was about, I would say, 50 to no more than 60 people that was there at opening at 5 a.m. And every one of those people were let in, and then I was in and out of there in 30 minutes. The majority of the time that took me there was arguing about friggin' survey coupons, so I'll get into that in a hot moment. So I went to that store, bought 17 candles. I'll go through all of it here shortly. Argued about survey coupons. They didn't accept them, and then I left, and that was that. When I left the store at 5:30, I was in and out in 30 minutes. It wasn't as mobbed as I thought it would be. People were like pretty conscious of each other. Like I didn't really see a ton of masks down like I normally do. So it wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. So that was good to go there. And then when I left at 5:30, there was absolutely no line to get into the store, and there was hardly anybody even out on the floor. It was actually quite empty. So it seemed like if you're going today, there might be a huge rush at the morning at opening, which has probably already happened by the time this video will go live. And it looks like it's kind of varying amounts of what the crowds will be after that, because it really wasn't even that busy when I left at 5:30. So that was good. But the thing was, the lines, that store only had 2 registers open at the first time, so the line was going really slow for checkout. They finally opened a 3rd and a 4th one as I was leaving, and that sort of sped up the process. But it seemed like the bottleneck was more so the checkout process than anything else. So that was what was going on at that store. I then drove to another store that opened at 6 a.m. And I got there around 6:30. And that one's the store that only lets 10 people in. That was the one I was originally going to go to, but then I was like, I'll just go to the larger one and like hope I can get in on the first batch. I went to the other smaller store. It's a lower volume store and they only let 10 people in at a time. I was there at 6:30. There was a line of about 10 people there, but it was not moving at all because they only let 10 people in. So if those 10 people are taking their sweet time shopping the store, like you're just going to be waiting there forever. So I stood there for about, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes and it didn't move. So I was like, okay, I don't need any more candles. So I left that one and then went home. And then we're finally here. So that was pretty much what the setup was. Yeah, it seems like there's a huge rush at the beginning, and then it might vary throughout the day. We'll see if Saturday might be busier. I don't plan on going tomorrow, but I might pop in on a store at opening on Sunday. And yeah, so yeah, it wasn't as scary as I thought, and they were actually very diligent about like cleaning. Like she opened a brand new, like the little like square wipes or whatever, for between every single transaction that somebody was was like punching in their PIN for the credit card. They were like quite diligent about it. So that was actually quite good. So yeah. Let's see, other stuff. I used a 10 off 40 on 5 candles, and then I had sets of 4 to do 10 off 30. That's how I landed upon 17 candles. I was like, I don't really need 17 candles, but the last 4 was just to hit a 10 off 30. Another one, but I don't really need those 4, and I certainly don't need those 4 now, is because they did not accept survey coupons. Oh, so friggin' annoying. I've been to that store before. They've accepted survey coupons literally as of like a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. Other stores I go to in my region accept them. You know, sometimes you'll get some stores that give you a hard time about it, but they still usually end up accepting it. She was not having it today. She was still very nice about denying the coupon. She was just like, oh, there's nothing I can really do. But yeah, she would not accept any of the survey coupons. And if you don't know, the survey coupons are the survey coupons that are printed at the bottom of the receipts from like 2012, 13, 14. You would call in a survey, and then you would get a digit, 5 digits to write in on the survey coupon. As long as you like called it in and filled it out, they're supposed to never expire, and they're supposed to honor them forever. But then of course I go into stores and there's new seasonal associates who just absolutely have no idea what we're talking about, or a manager just won't accept them for whatever reason. She was implying that there's like some counterfeit coupon action going on, so they're trying to be very diligent about not accepting coupons like willy-nilly, even though the survey coupons are totally legit. So I was like, I was just here literally a week and a half ago and you guys accepted it. Like, where's the sales associate who accepted it last week? It's like, why can't you not do it? I'm like, please just go into pricing, go into discount, punch in $10, put in the authorization code, and like do it. And I told her that like 3 times and she simply wouldn't do it. She called over a manager and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, we just can't accept these. She's like, there's not a valid authorization code, so I can't put it in there. Once again, I was literally here a week and a half ago. I went to another store just, you know, within this month and they accepted it. I went to another store this month, they accepted it. Why can you not do it when you literally just did it a week and a half ago? She's like, yeah, I'm sorry, there's just nothing I can do. She's like, you know, we can sometimes accept it when there's a 10 off 40 that's valid. I'm like, I've used these when there's not a 10 off 40 valid, and that is like not an excuse to be able to not use this coupon. And I literally just used a valid 10 off 40 in the transaction right before this, like a minute ago. So there is a valid 10 off 40 going around right now. Oh my God, like I wasn't too heated with her, but I was pushing back because it's like, I've used these coupons. I know how to go into the register and do all this stuff. Like, please just honor it. Yeah, she was not having it. She's like, oh, I can't call customer service right now because it's 5:30 and they don't open until like 8 or something. And she was like, I can call on your behalf. I can take down your number and your name and take a photo of the survey coupon and ask them how to do it, but I can't do it right now because they're not open. So I was like, okay, whatever, I understand. Yeah, so she was nice about denying it, but it was just annoying that she wouldn't accept it because they've accepted it so many other places. So you better believe 8 o'clock rolled around and I called customer service. Even though she'll do it on my behalf, I was like, I don't know if she's actually going to get to it. It's a really busy day. The managers and sales associates are under a lot of like, you know, stress and pressure to check people out and stuff. So like, I don't want to add more to her task today. So I was like, I'll just call myself and see what happens. And somebody did respond, and she said they actually opened at 6 today, but you're right, you can't call at 5 or 5:30, so there's nothing they can do. They technically, per BBW, they still do accept and honor the coupons. She said they weren't ever designed to be accepted forever, because this is like 8 years at this point, but they still do honor them. She said the register system has changed since when the first survey coupons came out, so it's not the same simple authorization code that it used to be, and now it's a longer authorization code, and they have to walk them step by step. A lot of seasonal associates don't know how to do it, so the only way like to get it guaranteed is to go during normal business hours of customer service on BBW, call them, and then they can accept it and honor it. And then she finally, after a little bit of pushing, gave me a $10 courtesy e-gift card. So at least I recouped $10 of I had 3 survey coupons I was supposed to use, so I recouped $10 of the 30 that I was supposed to get off of it. So there's still another $20 not accounted for, but I'll probably just return the last batch of 4 candles that I used that was supposed to be the last batch of survey coupons, and just return them because I really don't need them. I just bought them if I thought I could get them for a cheaper price, but I don't need them at the full $9.95 price because I have plenty of candles. But yeah, at least the lady on the phone was really nice too, and she at least gave the courtesy gift card or whatever, so there's that. But yeah, just so annoying and so aggravating because you go into all these stores and it's always like you have to like fight to get your survey coupons honored when it's like they should be honored. But nobody probably even has survey coupons at this point anymore, but that is the official word that I got from a rep today when I called in the phone for the customer care line. So that is it for all the rambling and the ranting, and I will finally get into my haul. So there is as I was saying in my video yesterday, there is a whole crap load of new spring stuff that's supposed to, it's on hold as of today on Friday. But if stores get depleted of stuff, and they were saying that, you know, they might get depleted of stuff, they might have permission to bring it out on, let's see, Sunday or even Saturday. They have permission to bring it out if corporate gives the green light and stuff is selling out rather quickly. We will not know until the Candle Day event progresses. So that would be, yeah, so that I'm hoping I can at least exchange or return some of these on Sunday or Monday when some of the new stuff is there. I'm just really gunning for sweet rosemary and vanilla, which has like rosemary plus cake and whipped like topping or something. Oh my God, all over that. There's a vanilla and peach tea, and there's a deep blue sea as well. So we'll see if any of those are good, and I'm most certainly planning on returning or exchanging some of these for that. And that was my main strategy for this. Like speaking of the candles that are out right now today as of Friday, what's officially for Candle Day, there's really nothing that good, to be honest. If there's some like tried and true fragrances that you've been waiting for, or if you've been waiting all season for Candle Day, it is worth going into a store. But if you are somebody like me who has plenty of candles, there's really nothing all that enticing to go into the store as of today, except for to just buy candles for $9.95 plus coupon to lock in that price to exchange for the new stuff that's supposed to come out on Monday. But yeah, so sweet rosemary and vanilla and peach tea and deep blue sea are the ones that I am gunning for. So fingers crossed that shows up sometime in this event. Online started actually earlier at like 5:30. The code was already valid and they were already advertising it. And then 6 a.m. the site was crashing a lot as expected, and it was very slow, but they didn't put out any new candles whatsoever. So the online selection was super lame. Like there's just nothing good on there. They only had like watermelon lemonade, and they don't even have cookies and cream milkshake out yet. They also pulled all the fall stuff as we saw yesterday. There's like no peppermint sugar cookie, just a very lousy selection of stuff that's really not all that great. So nothing really good going on online. We were all hoping for like the online bakery exclusive collection with chocolate rose macaron and stuff to pop up. That most certainly did not pop up. Literally nothing good or exciting came out for Candle Day, and the website was going really slow. So the online selection, there was nothing good. Sea salt and linen is decent, and lavender sea is decent too, but nothing that I needed to place an order for. So I'm sort of glad I went into store to just lock in the $9.95 to exchange for the newness afterwards. And I believe that is it. Whew! Let's go with the stuff that I plan on keeping and the most like interesting stuff. And we do have, this actually turned out to be interesting, and it is Berry Spritzer. I got 2 of these. I didn't really smell any of the candles in store. It was a very quick sniff because I wanted to get in and out, and I had my mask on. I wasn't going to take my mask down in store. Very quick sniff. I was just like, I'm just going to sort of grab stuff and then deal with it later, and then return and exchange as I please once I'm out of the store and can think properly. So Berry Spritzer is frozen juniper berries, fresh cranberries, cool peppermint, and black currant. This is in that Roaring 20s Phase 1 collection, and then the Frosted Moscow Mule stuff is supposed to come out after Candle Day or possibly by Sunday. And there was Berry Spritzer that came out in this collection in 2018. And we were wondering if this was going to be a repackage of this. This was Anjou Pear Cherry Blossoms and Peach Nectar. This is like Love Smell from Victoria's Secret with a vomit pear note in it. There's like this syrupy fakeness. It smells like a Dole fruit cup with like pear in it. And they're like classic vomit pear fragrance that I really didn't enjoy. And it was actually quite strong, and like I always have to blow it out after a while because it makes me feel just ill. And I did not enjoy this one. And then so I was like, well, there's a new one called Berry Spritzer coming out, but the notes on it are totally different. So I was like, I wonder what it's gonna be. Super pretty label, by the way. So there's that. Yeah, this is totally not Berry Spritzer. It's like so much better than the old Berry Spritzer. It reminds me a lot of Juniper Berry and Pine right here. And this one was from 2016. It's fresh Juniper Berry, Holiday Cranberry, Snow-Capped Pine, and Peppermint. Okay, that sounds really familiar. Cranberry, Juniper Berry, Peppermint. This one has Black Currant, and this one has Snow-Capped Pine. Okay, maybe, is it the same? This one has changed ever so slightly because it's burnt. That's what that looked like. Oh my god, is this it? Wow, they're immensely similar. This could possibly be Juniper Berry and Pine, which is so weird that this is Juniper Berry and Pine and then this is Berry Spritzer. It like makes no sense. But you get that juniper in there. It's that It's like a sweet berry, but has that sort of like, almost like a herbal type of greenery note that's kind of like a Christmas tree, sort of sap-y. And then there's a more earthy berry in there. And then there's a little bit of that like pine cooling peppermint blend. It doesn't really smell like a berry spritzer as you would imagine. It doesn't really smell like this either. So if you like fruity scents, you're probably actually not gonna like this. But if you hated berry spritzer, you might actually enjoy this, because it is very similar to juniper berry and pine. Pretty jazzed about that. I really like this. This is like a sweeter, lighter, less heavy and robust winter garland or mistletoe magic type of fragrance, where it's that juicy berry fragrance mixed with that sort of pine Christmas tree note. And there's that cooling element that you get from the juniper as well. Oh my god, totally digging this. This is so weird that I wouldn't have ever expected this to be juniper berry and pine, but the notes are like almost word for word except for the snow-capped pine and the black currant. Yeah, so happy I got 2 of those. So I didn't even, like, I was like, this smells not like the Love Spell Pear Vomit. So I was like, let me just get 2 just in case. Can always exchange or return them later. But pretty jazzed that this is not the old berry spritzer and that it's actually closer to, I actually really enjoyed this one. So I'm like pretty jazzed about that. So that one's actually worth getting if you like juniper berry and pine. And it's totally not the grody berry spritzer from before. The other thing of interest would be cookies and cream milkshake right here. I did pick up 2 of these, again, just so I could have one to exchange if anything more exciting comes out. People were gunning for cookies and cream milkshake. Whoa, people like made a beeline to that table. And that was the first one, like just people were like snatching up like crazy. That one was like depleted, like maybe like 2 or 3 left by the time I left. People were gunning for that one. Nobody was touching Aloha Kiwi Passion Fruit and Peach Bellini and all that crap. So this one is chocolate cookie crumbles, vanilla bean ice cream, chocolate drizzle. I was like, what is this gonna be? This one has like a geometric lid, by the way. Bren said it, and she's totally right. It's just so awesome to have people who like break things down and sort of translate it into the same like candles and previous BBW knowledge that I'm familiar with. Yeah, she said it was basically hot cocoa and cream mixed with vanilla bean marshmallow, and she's totally on point. That's exactly what you get. You get that powdery hot cocoa and cream fragrance, but it's a little bit more marshmallow sweet, like vanilla bean marshmallow. And that's exactly what it smells like. Like, I'm smiling so much because like she's really dead on with it. Kind of boring, honestly. I really don't care for hot cocoa and cream. Vanilla bean marshmallow is decent, but nothing I need one of with chocolate. It's not as ooey gooey, piping hot, like fudgy rich as hot fudge sundae is. So it's not that. It really is like hot cocoa and cream just split with vanilla bean marshmallow. And there's really nothing more to say to that. A little bit similar to chocolate marshmallow clouds, but that one was a little less rich and just plasticky and hollow than cookies and cream milkshake is. Most certainly don't need 2, so one of them is most certainly going to get exchange or return. So that was cookies and cream and milkshake right there. Of course, I didn't burn any of these, so I don't know how that's going to pan out. This store was just, the main reason I sort of went to this store was because I knew they still had plenty of these left, and I picked up another banana walnut muffin. Excellent. Realistic, cozy, awesome bakery banana fragrance. I've already talked about this too in depth. Sweet banana, golden nutmeg, cinnamon sugar muffin. This one dudded out at the last third though and got really grody and nasty, but it was flawless for the first 2/3. It's still worth picking up. So that was banana walnut muffin there. I also knew that store would still have this. So I got Dutch apple waffle, except this is the version of the full wraparound, whereas I got the half label before. I already talked about this a lot too. Warm buttermilk waffles, baked apple slices, ground nutmeg with essential oils. Smells delicious as before. Yeah, this one I could possibly exchange or return, but I could also keep it too. I don't know, sort of up in the air as whether or not I want to keep this. So that's Dutch apple waffle right there. Next, we have a fresh balsam that my parents requested. This one burns great, hot and clean. Well, it soots, but it burns, like, it doesn't dud out, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't really need to talk about that. That's just for my parents. Another, either my parents can have it or exchange candle. It's under the Christmas tree right here. I did a full review on this, so I don't really have to talk about it. Really ended up liking it, and it got actually quite strong the more and more I burned it. Pretty delicious, actually. I don't mind this. It's probably my favorite from this Just In collection. Yeah, it's there if either I or my parents want it, or it'll be an exchange or return. We have Snowy Driftwood. This one I was talking about recently, saying was actually more pleasant than I thought it would be. This is White Pine and Aromatic Herbs Iced Driftwood. People were saying, or I was speculating originally that it could be just an Ocean Driftwood repackaged, which is just a mahogany teakwood repackaged. So just your usual Abercrombie & Fitch cologne scent. And people were also saying it was more cologne, but when you go to smell it, it's like not really. It's more perfumey than it is cologne. There's almost like this weird, like citronella, bergamot, citrus undertone. mixed with a powdery floral perfume slash slightly cologne fragrance. Think of like kind of like bergamot waters made a little bit more powdery and floral. I smelled it through the mask and I thought it was decent, but smelling it now, by the way, I had wiped down all these candles thoroughly before I hauled this, so just FYI. Yeah, I don't think I need to keep this now that I've smelled it. It's not terrible, but I don't think it's necessarily anything I want to keep or burn, so this might be another exchange or return. So that was Snowy Driftwood right there. Moving on to the Marble collection. People were gunning for Strawberry Pound Cake as if it was something new, a unicorn candle they've never seen before. That stuff was sold out within like 15 minutes. I went there like 5 to 10 minutes in and there was maybe like 3 left. Somebody was scooping that stuff up. Like somebody made a beeline to it and like was just piling on the pound cake. It was crazy. People, I guess, really like this one. Fresh strawberries, golden shortcake, whipped cream with essential oils. It just has a marble packaging on it. Just take it or leave it with me. I don't really care for it. And a regular chrome lid. Yeah, this smells so much cheaper than the original one. The original one was so good and delicious. The vanilla cake note was a little bit more warm, baked, and delicious. And the strawberry jam note was also a little bit more prominent. Just the first version was like just simply excellent. And it's a little bit more plasticky and toned down. It's still the same fragrance for all intents and purposes, but just very nitpicky. The first one was really spectacular, and the other ones have been a little bit less spectacular. Still a nice, good strawberry pound cake fragrance. Everybody knows what this smells like. I think I still have 2 in my collection. This was either I might end up burning it. It's probably going to come back out all the time because it's so popular that I really don't need to keep it. So this one's another potential return or exchange if anything good comes out. So strawberry pound cake right there. We then have linen sheets, fresh ocean air, Anjou pear, violet petals, and warm vanilla. That's also in the Marble collection right there. This literally just smells like fresh cotton. They keep tweaking that, which is also kind of similar to Sea Island cotton. They keep tweaking that fragrance and I guess trying to give it something that's most appealing. It's just a straight up cotton fragrance. This is totally a exchange or return candle too. It's just sort of like, I don't want to get COVID in the store, so you just like pile stuff on and then deal with it later because their return policy allows for that. So that was my strategy, so that's why it sounds sort of like cruddy that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna return or exchange all these, but that was really my theory. And the fact that I couldn't use survey coupons on the last batch of 12, it really stings. So there's even more likely I'm not gonna keep these because I really don't need all these candles. And I didn't wanna like sift through all of them and hold up the line and be like, oh, I actually don't want those. So that's why I still have these, but still plan on returning or exchanging. Linen sheets, if you just want a plain old cotton scent, that's linen sheets for you. Moving on to more White Barn Coraline that came out for Candle Day. Fiji White Sands in this really pretty blue jar. I probably am not gonna keep this one either. This is fresh cut sugarcane, white nectarine, and sandalwood. This is like Tiki Beach, made a little bit more musky and body care-ish. It's decent, it's nice. This one has thick rope-like wicks, whereas normally it has the thin core wicks that dud out and nub out on me. It's a nice fragrance, but I was like, it's sort of pretty. I might keep it for the, summertime. If not, once again, another return or exchange stash. So that's Fiji White Sands right there. Island Papaya, another exchange candle. This one is, let's see, tropical coconut, fresh papaya, and sugarcane. Decent. It reminds me of like Saikin era type of tropical fragrance. You get the papaya in there and you get the coconut. It's pretty straightforward. It's a papaya coconut fragrance. It's not too fake, cheap, or synthetic. This one actually has the potential to be pleasant. If you've burned Island Papaya before, I've actually never burned it or bought it before. Let me know how it performs. The pink jar is sort of pretty, so that's Island Papaya right there. We have pomegranate lemonade, which is juicy pomegranate zested lemons and sugar crystals. This was a previously online exclusive during the summer, and they end up releasing it for Candle Day. This is nice. I have a pomegranate lemonade, so do I really need this one? Probably not. So we'll see what the fate of this candle ends up being. But this is very similar to that, if you like that sweet pomegranate cream body care, like so immensely similar to that. It's like a more tart, like pink lemonade type fragrance. It's actually nice, but yeah, I already still have another old one, so I don't know if it's totally necessary, but it's not a terrible fragrance. So that's pomegranate lemonade right there. We also have a berry waffle cone in this collection. Pretty packaging, And this one says sweet summer berries, golden waffle cone, and creamy vanilla. Everybody knows what berry waffle cone smells like at this point. Super like crusty pie crust type fragrance with a little bit of cinnamon and just a subtle hint of blueberry or a berry fragrance. It's not as heavy as blueberry pie is, and it's not as brown sugar heavy as blueberry pie is as well. It's a little bit more crusty. They're very similar, but it's sort of hard to describe the differences. This one smells very light on cold though, that I'm not really sure if I need to keep it or not, but super pretty lid on that one. So it's very waffle cone right there. This one's a really good scent and it's really popular, so if you do want it, you can seek it out for Candle Day. We have Pumpkin Donut Shop, which they just had an abundance of these. I didn't buy this during this phase because I bought it when it was out in 2018, I think. It wasn't really that good. It just smells like their weird stale graham cracker note with like a fake powdery action. I really don't care for it. Glazed donuts, warm pumpkin spices, and sprinkled with powdered sugar. People were really raving about this one though. I don't know if this one burns better than the previous one, but the previous one did it out like crazy and it smelled just like burnt nasty sugar. So I don't know. This is probably another exchange candle right there. And then lastly, we have a Relax Black Chamomile Aromatherapy right here, and that's what that looks like. This one was specifically for Candle Day. Chamomile oil and bergamot oil. There's a bergamot chamomile that's out right now in aromatherapy and body care. That's the same as black chamomile. They just rename it all the time. This one's actually decent. It has that sort of like milky quality to it. I guess is what from the chamomile is. And there's a slight greenery component to it that I don't mind. Very relaxing and calming. This one I could actually maybe consider keeping. But I've had this one before. It was just decent. So this is the Relax Black Chamomile right there. I really enjoy that black and gold packaging though. And whew, I think that is it. Thank you so much if you watched this whole video. It kind of like sort of wasn't as fun because I'm like, this is a return and this is an exchange candle, but once again, it was just like, they didn't accept the survey coupons, but I didn't want to go back and readjust my order. And all the new good stuff is supposed to be here on either Sunday or Monday, so better believe I'm exchanging all this stuff. It is still like kosher per their return policy, 100% happiness guaranteed, so I'm gonna take advantage of that, and I'm gunning for rosemary vanilla, deep blue sea, and the sweet peach tea thing, and then there's a mango waters and something else that's also coming out. There's the pink watermelon too, so we'll see what surfaces, and we'll just have to sort of keep track of how this event progresses throughout the next 3 days, and see if stores start putting out their back stock, because that's what we were all really interested in. And there's a Frosted Moscow Mule too that was not at my store that I haven't smelled yet, but I'm not really into lime fragrances, so I don't really care for that. So we'll see how that pans out too. Ramble like crazy. It was fun. It was a little bit more safer than I thought it would be. They were actually quite diligent in, you know, cleaning stuff and letting people in. And like people actually had masks on, so that was good. And we waited outside for the majority of the waiting period, so I didn't feel as like, you know, cooped up and scared to be indoors at a mall or anything. So that went smoother than I thought, and it wasn't as crazy or busy or like mob-like as before. Let me know if you went to the store, how your crowds were, what you scored. Did you find anything interesting or exciting? Berry Spritzer, believe it or not, is the one that I'm actually most excited about, and I'm like totally glad I have 2 of them. So can't wait to burn that. And then Cookies and Cream Milkshake was just eh. So yeah, let's hope we can find sweet rosemary and vanilla and that delivers. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Happy Candle Day.